The concept of the commons, traditionally associated with shared resources like land, water, and air, has evolved to encompass a broader range of collective assets, including knowledge, digital resources, and healthcare. At its core, the commons represents resources managed collectively by a community to ensure equitable access and sustainable use. In the context of social justice, the commons offers a powerful framework for addressing disparities in access to essential resources and services. This discussion explores the connections between the commons, social justice, and equitable access to resources, with a focus on how commons-based initiatives can contribute to reducing societal disparities and promoting empowerment. Howdy, I'm just some random nude dude sitting in my closet talking to myself. It's also where I celebrate the power of free thinking and encourage bold ideas. As a society, we're often afraid to challenge the norms or think outside the box. But here, I embrace the unconventional. So sit back, relax, and join me on this journey of exploration, where we embrace our inner nude dude and push boundaries to discover new perspectives. Also, grab your beer and popcorn because it's going to be a long one. The concept of the commons represents a paradigm shift in how societies manage shared resources. Rooted in the idea of collective stewardship, the commons encompasses a wide range of resources, both natural and social, that are managed and shared by a community according to agreed-upon rules and norms. These resources, which include everything from land and water to knowledge and cultural heritage, are considered essential for the well-being of a community and are protected from privatization and exploitation by outside interests. At its core, the commons is about equity, sustainability, and community empowerment. It challenges the dominant narrative of individual ownership and profit maximization, instead promoting a model where resources are shared, managed collaboratively, and preserved for future generations. This approach not only fosters a sense of collective responsibility, but also ensures that resources are accessible to all, rather than concentrated in the hands of a few. The intersection of the commons with social justice is particularly significant. In a world where economic inequality, environmental degradation, and social exclusion are pressing concerns, commons-based initiatives offer a powerful framework for addressing these challenges. By emphasizing equitable access to resources, sustainability, and community-driven decision-making, the commons provides a pathway towards reducing societal disparities and building more resilient, just, and inclusive communities. This discussion will explore the various ways in which the commons contributes to social justice, focusing on key areas such as equitable access to resources, sustainability, empowerment, and the reduction of inequality. It will also examine specific examples of common-based initiatives, including community land trusts, digital commons, public healthcare initiatives, and food cooperatives, to illustrate how these concepts are being put into practice. Through these examples, we'll see how the principles of the commons can be applied to create more just and sustainable societies, where resources are managed not for private gain, but for the collective good. Equitable access is a central theme in the discourse on the commons and social justice. The commons framework challenges the idea that resources should be privatized and instead advocates for their management in a way that benefits all members of society, particularly those who are marginalized or disadvantaged. This approach is rooted in the belief that everyone has a right to access essential resources, whether these are natural resources, healthcare, education, or digital tools, regardless of their socioeconomic status. In a world where inequality is pervasive, equitable access to resources becomes a crucial mechanism for promoting social justice. For instance, when land, water, and food systems are managed as commons, communities can ensure that these resources are available to all, particularly those who may be excluded by market-based systems. This is particularly important in addressing the needs of low-income populations, indigenous communities, and other groups who often face barriers to accessing essential resources. Equitable access to resources is a fundamental principle in the discussion of the commons and social justice. It underscores the idea that all individuals, regardless of their socioeconomic status, race, gender, or geographical location, should have fair access to resources necessary for a decent quality of life. In a world where disparities in wealth, power, and access are growing, the Commons framework provides a critical alternative to the privatization and commoditization of essential resources. Equitable access is not just about making resources available, but ensuring that they are distributed in a way that meets the needs of all members of society, particularly those who are most vulnerable. In many societies, access to resources like clean water, health care, education, and food is often determined by market forces, which can create significant barriers for low-income individuals and marginalized communities. This inequity perpetuates cycles of poverty and exclusion, making it difficult for these groups to improve their circumstances. Equitable access to resources is essential for promoting social justice because it addresses the root causes of inequality. By ensuring that everyone has what they need to live a healthy, dignified life, we can create a more just and fair society. This approach also recognizes that access to resources is a human right, not a privilege reserved to those who can afford it. The Commons model plays a crucial role in ensuring equitable access to resources by treating these resources as shared assets that belong to the community as a whole. In a commons-based system, resources are managed collectively with the aim of meeting the needs of all members of the community rather than maximizing profit for a few. For example, community-managed water systems are a form of commons that ensure access to clean water for all residents of a community, regardless of their ability to pay. These systems are often governed by the community itself, which decides how the water is distributed and ensures that it is used sustainably. Similarly, public healthcare systems, which treat healthcare services as a public good, provide access to essential medical care for everyone, reducing health disparities and improving overall public health. Despite the potential of commons-based initiatives to promote equitable access, there are significant challenges to be addressed. One of the main barriers is the concentration of power and resources in the hands of a few, which can lead to the exclusion of marginalized groups from decision-making processes. To overcome this, it is crucial to ensure that the governance of commons-based initiatives is inclusive and participatory, allowing all members of the community to have a say in how resources are managed and distributed. Another barrier is the commodification of resources that should be treated as commons. When resources like land, water, and education are commodified, they become inaccessible to those who cannot afford to pay for them. To counter this trend, it's important to advocate for policies and practices that protect these resources from privatization and ensure that they are managed for the benefit of the community. Additionally, there's a need for public awareness and education about the importance of the commons and equitable access. Many people are not aware of the alternatives to privatization and may not understand the benefits of collective resource management. By raising awareness and building support for commons-based initiatives, we can create a stronger foundation for equitable access to resources. There are numerous examples of commons-based initiatives that successfully promote equitable access to resources. Community land trusts, CLTs, remove land from the speculative market and hold it in trust for the community, ensuring that it's used for affordable housing and other community needs. This model prevents displacement and gentrification, ensuring that low and moderate income families have access to secure housing. Public libraries are a classic example of the commons in action. They provide free access to books, information, and digital resources, ensuring that everyone, regardless of income, can access knowledge and learning opportunities. Community-supported agriculture programs allow community members to collectively support local farms in exchange for a share of the harvest. This model provides equitable access to fresh, locally grown food while supporting sustainable farming practices. Open-source software and online educational resources are part of the digital commons, making technology and knowledge accessible to people who might otherwise be excluded due to cost barriers. These resources democratize access to information and empower individuals to learn, innovate, and contribute to the digital economy. Equitable access to resources through the commons has a profound impact on social justice. By ensuring that everyone has access to the resources they need to thrive, commons-based initiatives help reduce inequality and promote social cohesion. When resources are managed collectively and distributed fairly, communities become more resilient and individuals are empowered to participate fully in society. Moreover, equitable access challenges the structures of power and privilege that perpetuate inequality. It shifts the focus from individual wealth accumulation to collective well-being, fostering a more inclusive and just society. In this way, the commons not only addresses immediate needs, but also contributes to the long-term transformation of social and economic systems, creating a foundation for a more equitable future. Sustainability is intrinsically linked to the concept of the commons, as the collective management of resources often leads to more sustainable practices. In a commons-based system, the community has a vested interest in ensuring that the resources are used in a way that meets current needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. This contrasts with privatized systems, where the drive for profit can lead to overexploitation and environmental degradation. Commons-based initiatives often promote sustainability through practices such as local sourcing, waste reduction, and the preservation of ecosystems. By involving the community in decision-making, these initiatives can foster a sense of responsibility and stewardship over shared resources. This collective approach not only benefits the environment, but also supports the long-term viability of the community itself. Sustainable management of the commons can therefore be seen as both an environmental and a social justice imperative, ensuring that resources are available to all, now and in the future. Sustainability is the core principle of the commons, deeply intertwined with the collective management of shared resources. The concept of sustainability in this context goes beyond mere environmental conservation. It encompasses the idea of managing resources in a way that meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. The Commons offers a framework for sustainable resource management by encouraging practices that balance human needs with the health of the environment, fostering long-term ecological and social resilience. The Commons naturally promotes sustainability because it's based on the collective stewardship of resources. When communities manage their resources together, they're more likely to prioritize long-term health over short-term gains. This is because the community as a whole has a vested interest in ensuring that resources remain available for future use, rather than being depleted or degraded by overexploitation. In contrast, privatized resource management often leads to unsustainable practices, as individuals or corporations may prioritize immediate profit over the long-term health of the resource. Enter the hedge funds and the vulture capitalists. The sustainability of the commons is also reinforced by the principle of inclusivity. When all stakeholders have a say in how resources are managed, there's a greater emphasis on equitable distribution and responsible use. This collective decision-making process helps prevent the tragedy of the commons, where individual users might exploit a shared resource to the detriment of the community as a whole. Instead, sustainable practices are encouraged through communal agreements and shared values. Commons-based systems often implement specific sustainable practices that contribute to the long-term viability of the resources they manage. These practices are diverse and can be adapted to the particular needs and characteristics of the community and the resources involved. By prioritizing local sourcing, community-based initiatives reduce the environmental impact associated with transportation and support the local economy. For example, food cooperatives often source their products from nearby farms, reducing the carbon footprint and fostering sustainable agricultural practices. In agricultural commons, practices such as permaculture and agroecology are often promoted. These approaches focus on creating self-sustaining agricultural ecosystems that mimic natural processes, enhancing biodiversity, soil health, and water conservation. In many rural areas, forests, fisheries, and water resources are managed as commons by local communities. These communities develop rules and practices that ensure the sustainable use of these resources, such as rotational grazing, sustainable fishing quotas, and community reforestation projects. Some commons-based initiatives incorporate circular economy principles, which emphasize the reuse, recycling, and regeneration of resources. This approach minimizes waste and extends the life cycle of products, contributing to overall sustainability. It also internalizes the costs instead of making them externalities that corporations push off on consumers. Energy cooperatives, where communities collectively manage and invest in renewable energy products, are a growing example of sustainability within the commons. By focusing on renewable energy sources like wind, solar, and hydroelectric power, these cooperatives reduce reliance on fossil fuels and contribute to a more sustainable energy future. While the Commons offers a powerful model for sustainable resource management, it's not without its challenges. One of the key challenges is ensuring that all members of the community are committed to sustainable practices. In some cases, individual or collective short-term needs can lead to overuse or mismanagement of resources, threatening long-term sustainability. Another challenge is the external pressures from market forces and government policies that may not align with the principles of the commons. For example, privatization efforts, extraction industries, and large-scale development projects can undermine sustainable practices and threaten the integrity of the commons. Communities managing commons must often advocate for legal protections and policy support to safeguard their resources against such pressures. Furthermore, climate change poses a significant challenge to the sustainability of the commons. As environmental conditions become more unpredictable and extreme, communities may struggle to maintain sustainable practices in the face of resource scarcity, natural disasters, and shifting ecosystems. Adapting to these challenges requires flexibility, innovation, and strong communal governance. Effective governance is crucial to the sustainability of the commons. Governance structures must be inclusive, transparent, and adaptable to changing conditions. Successful commons governance often includes a mix of traditional knowledge, local customs, and modern management practices, creating a hybrid model that is both resilient and responsive to the needs of the community. One key aspect of commons governance is the establishment of clear rules and norms that guide the use and management of resources. These rules are typically developed through consensus and are enforced by the community itself. Regular monitoring and evaluation are also important to ensure that resources are being used sustainably and that the needs of the community are being met. In addition to local governance, broader policy support is often necessary to protect the commons from external threats, This can include legal recognition of community rights to manage resources, environmental regulations that align with sustainable practices, and financial support for community-led conservation efforts. Collaboration between communities, governments, and non-governmental organizations can also enhance the sustainability of the commons by providing resources, expertise, and advocacy. The sustainability of the commons has far-reaching implications for both environmental and social justice. By promoting sustainable practices, commons-based initiatives can help protect ecosystems and biodiversity, contributing to the global fight against climate change and environmental degradation. This not only benefits the environment, but also ensures that future generations have access to resources they need to thrive. Moreover, sustainability of the commons is closely linked to social justice. When resources are managed sustainably, communities are more resilient and better able to meet their own needs. This reduces dependency on external actors and empowers communities to take control over their own development. In this way, the sustainability of the commons supports broader goals of equity, empowerment, and social cohesion. Sustainable commons also serve as models for broader societal change, demonstrating that it's possible to manage resources in a way that is both equitable and environmentally responsible. By highlighting the successes of commons-based initiatives, we can inspire new approaches to resource management that prioritize sustainability and social justice on a larger scale. There are numerous examples of successful sustainable management within the commons. In Nepal, community forestry initiatives have empowered local communities to manage and protect their forests sustainably. These initiatives have led to significant reforestation, improved biodiversity, and enhanced livelihoods for community members, demonstrating the effectiveness of collective resource management. In coastal regions around the world, communities have established marine protected areas, MPAs, as part of a commons-based approach to manage marine resources. These protected areas help preserve fish stocks, protect coral reefs, and maintain the health of marine ecosystems, benefiting both the environment and local economies. Indigenous communities worldwide have long practiced sustainable land stewardship as part of their cultural heritage. These practices, which include controlled burns, sustainable hunting, and the protection of sacred sites, are vital for maintaining the ecological balance of their territories. In countries like Germany and Denmark, renewable energy cooperatives have successfully implemented sustainable energy projects, such as wind farms and solar panels. These cooperatives not only reduce carbon emissions, but also provide economic benefits to their members and promote community engagement in environmental stewardship. Sustainability of the commons is integral to the future of both our planet and our societies. As the world faces increasing environmental challenges, the need for sustainable resource management has never been more urgent. The commons provide a viable path forward, offering a model that balances human needs with the health of the environment and the well-being of future generations. By embracing the principle of the commons, communities can create systems that are not only sustainable but also equitable and empowering. The lessons learned from successful commons-based initiatives can inform broader efforts to address global challenges from climate change to social inequality. In this way, the sustainability of the commons is not just about preserving resources. It's about building a more just, resilient, and sustainable world for all. The commons model is inherently empowering, as it involves communities in the management and decision-making processes related to shared resources. This participatory approach gives people a voice in how resources are used and distributed, fostering a sense of ownership and agency. In many cases, commons-based initiatives provide marginalized communities with the tools and platforms to advocate for their rights and needs. challenging existing power structures that often exclude them. Empowerment through the commons is evident in various forms, from community-managed forests and fisheries to cooperative businesses and digital platforms. By taking control of resources, communities can build resilience, improve their economic situation, and enhance the overall well-being. Moreover, the commons model encourages the development of local knowledge and skills, further contributing to community empowerment and self-sufficiency. Empowerment is a central theme in the commons framework, reflecting the idea that individuals and communities can gain greater control over their lives and resources by collectively managing shared assets. Through participation in commons-based initiatives, people can exercise agency, make decisions that directly impact their well-being, and challenge existing power structures that often marginalize them. The commons thus serves as a powerful tool for promoting both individual and collective empowerment, fostering resilience, self-reliance, and social justice. Empowerment within the commons is rooted in the principle of collective ownership and management of resources. In contrast to privatized systems, where decisions about resources are typically made by a few powerful entities, the commons model emphasizes democratic governance and community participation. This inclusive approach ensures that all members of the community, regardless of their social or economic status, have a voice in how resources are used and distributed. The concept of empowerment in the commons goes beyond mere participation. It involves the development of skills, knowledge, and capacities that enable individuals and communities to take control of their own destinies. Through engagement in commons-based initiatives, people learn to manage resources sustainably, solve problems collectively, and build networks of mutual support. This process of empowerment strengthens communities, enhances social cohesion, and contributes to long-term resilience. One of the most direct ways in which the commons empowers individuals is through participation in governance. In a commons-based system, decision-making is typically decentralized and participatory, allowing community members to have a say in how resources are managed. This democratic process not only gives people a sense of ownership over their resources, but also fosters a culture of collaboration and shared responsibility. Participation in commons governance can take many forms, from attending meetings and voting on key decisions, to serving on committees or taking on leadership roles. This active involvement helps individuals develop leadership skills, gain confidence in their abilities, and build a deeper understanding of the issues facing their community. Moreover, the experience of working together to manage shared resources can strengthen social bonds and create a sense of solidarity among community members. Inclusive governance in the commons is particularly empowering for marginalized groups who are often excluded from traditional decision-making processes. By providing a platform for these groups to voice their concerns and advocate for their needs, the commons helps to challenge existing power dynamics and promote greater social equity. This inclusivity is essential for ensuring that the benefits of the commons are shared by all members of the community, not just the most privileged. Access to resources is a key component in empowerment in the commons. When resources are managed collectively, communities can ensure that everyone has access to essential goods and services they need to thrive. This is especially important in contexts where access to resources is typically restricted by economic or social barriers. For example, in commons-based healthcare systems, access to medical care is treated as a fundamental right rather than a commodity to be bought and sold. This approach empowers individuals by ensuring that they can receive the care they need, regardless of their ability to pay. Similarly, in community land trusts, access to affordable housing is guaranteed by keeping land in collective ownership, providing long-term security for low and moderate-income families. Access to resources through the commons also empowers communities to reduce dependency on external actors, such as private corporations or government agencies. When communities control their own resources, they're better able to meet their needs and respond to the challenges in a way that reflects their values and priorities. This autonomy is a key aspect of empowerment, allowing communities to chart their own course and build a future that aligns with their vision. The commons can also serve as a powerful tool for economic empowerment, particularly for marginalized communities. By pooling resources and working together, communities can create economic opportunities that might otherwise be out of reach. Commons-based economic initiatives, such as cooperatives, mutual aid societies, and community-supported agriculture, provide alternative models for economic organization that prioritize collective well-being over individual profit. Cooperatives, for example, are a form of economic commons where workers or consumers collectively own and manage a business. This model allows members to share in the profits and make decisions about the direction of the business, providing both financial benefits and a greater sense of control over their economic future. Cooperatives can be found in a wide range of industries, from agriculture and retail to housing and energy, and they often play a critical role in empowering communities to achieve greater economic stability and self-sufficiency. Mutual aid societies, another form of economic commons, empower individuals by providing financial and social support within a community. These organizations are typically based on the principles of reciprocity and solidarity, where members contribute to and benefit from a shared pool of resources. Mutual aid societies have a long history of supporting marginalized communities, particularly in times of crisis, and they continue to be a vital source of empowerment for those who might otherwise be excluded from formal economic systems. The commons also empowers individuals and communities by facilitating the sharing of knowledge and skills. In many commons-based initiatives, education and capacity building are integral components of helping people develop the expertise they need to manage resources effectively and sustainably. This emphasis on learning and skill development not only enhances the capacity of individuals to contribute to their communities, but also fosters a culture of innovation and resilience. Digital commons, such as open-source software communities and online educational platforms, are particularly effective at empowering people through knowledge sharing. These platforms democratize access to information and tools, enabling individuals to acquire new skills, participate in global networks, and contribute to collaborative projects. By breaking down barriers to knowledge, digital commons empower individuals to take control of their own learning and development, opening up new opportunities for personal and professional growth. In addition to technical skills, commons-based initiatives emphasize the development of social and organizational skills, such as leadership, negotiation, and conflict resolution. These skills are often crucial for effective participation in the governance of the commons and for building strong, cohesive communities. By empowering individuals with the skills they need to engage in collective action, the commons helps to create a more active and informed citizenry, capable of driving positive change for their communities. The empowerment fostered by the commons has far-reaching implications for social justice and community resilience. When individuals and communities are empowered to take control of their resources and their futures, they are better equipped to address the challenges they face, from economic inequality and social exclusion to environmental degradation and political marginalization. Empowerment through the commons thus contributes to the creation of a more just, equitable, and sustainable society. Empowerment also has a transformative effect on the individuals involved in community-based initiatives. By participating in the governance and management of shared resources, people gain confidence in their abilities, develop a sense of agency, and build a deeper connection to their communities. This personal transformation is a key aspect of empowerment, as it enables individuals to take on new roles and responsibilities, advocate for their rights, and contribute more fully to the life of their community. Moreover, the empowerment that arises from the commons can inspire broader societal changes. When communities successfully manage their resources to achieve positive outcomes, they serve as models for others, demonstrating the potential of collective action and shared governance. This can lead to the replication of commons-based initiatives in other areas, as well as the adoption of policies and practices that support community empowerment on a larger scale. There are numerous examples of how the commons empowers individuals and communities around the world. Community land trusts empower residents by giving them control over local land use and housing development. This not only provides affordable housing, but also allows community members to shape the future of their neighborhoods, preventing displacement and fostering long-term stability. Worker cooperatives empower employees by allowing them to collectively own and manage their workplace. This model gives workers a direct stake in the success of the business and a say in the decision-making processes, leading to more equitable and democratic workplaces. Indigenous communities have long practiced commons-based resource management, which empowers them to maintain control over their lands, waters, and cultural heritage. These practices not only protect the environment, but also preserve traditional knowledge and support the sovereignty and self-determination of indigenous peoples. Platforms like Wikipedia and open-source software communities empower individuals by enabling them to contribute to and benefit from shared knowledge and tools. These initiatives democratize access to information and foster global cooperation, giving people the opportunity to learn, create, and innovate together. In participatory budgeting processes, community members are empowered to decide how public funds are spent in their local areas. This direct involvement in financial decision-making fosters transparency, accountability, and a greater sense of ownership over community resources. Empowerment through the commons is a powerful force for social change, enabling individuals and communities to take control of their resources and their destinies. By fostering participation, providing access to essential services, and facilitating the sharing of knowledge and skills, the commons empowers people to build more just, equitable, and sustainable communities. This empowerment is not just about improving material conditions. It's about transforming individuals and communities, giving them the tools and the confidence to shape their own futures. As more communities around the world embrace the commons model, the potential for empowerment through collective action continues to grow. The examples of success in commons-based initiatives demonstrate that when people are empowered to manage their own resources, they can create resilient, inclusive, and thriving communities. The commons, therefore, represents not just a model for resource management, but a vision for a more empowered and just world. The commons offers a powerful tool for reducing inequality, as it provides a framework for a fair distribution of resources. In a commons-based system, resources are managed in a way that prioritizes the needs of the entire community, rather than allowing wealth and power to concentrate in the hands of a few. This approach can help address economic and social disparities, particularly in communities that have been historically marginalized or oppressed. Commons-based initiatives contribute to reducing inequality by ensuring that everyone has access to essential resources and services. For example, community land trusts make housing more affordable by removing land from the speculative market, ensuring that it remains available for community use. Similarly, food cooperatives provide access to healthy, affordable food, particularly in areas where such resources are scarce. By prioritizing the needs of the community over profit, These initiatives help level the playing field and promote greater social and economic equality. Reducing inequality is a fundamental goal of the Commons, which seeks to create more equitable systems of resource distribution and governance. The Commons operates on principles that directly counter the concentration of wealth and power in the hands of a few, promoting instead collective ownership, shared decision-making, and equitable access to resources. By addressing the root causes of inequality, whether economic, social, or political, the Commons provides a pathway towards more inclusive and just societies. Inequality often stems from the unequal distribution of resources, where access to land, wealth, education, and opportunities is concentrated among a small portion of the population. This imbalance perpetuates cycles of poverty and exclusion, as those with limited access to resources are often unable to improve their circumstances. Traditional economic models, which prioritize individual ownership and profit maximization, tend to exacerbate these disparities by favoring those who already have resources and power. In contrast, the Commons model promotes a more equitable distribution of resources by emphasizing collective ownership and stewardship. In a Commons, resources are managed for the benefit of the entire community rather than the profit of a few. This approach helps level the playing field by ensuring that all members of the community have access to the resources they need to thrive, regardless of their socioeconomic status. One of the most direct ways in which the Commons reduces inequality is by addressing economic disparities. By pooling resources and sharing them equitably, Commons-based initiatives create economic systems that prioritize collective well-being over individual profit. This model stands in stark contrast to dying capitalist systems, where wealth is often accumulated in a small elite, leading to widening economic gaps. In the Commons, resources such as land, housing, food, and energy are managed collectively, allowing communities to ensure that everyone has access to basic necessities. For example, in community land trusts, land is held in common and housing is provided at affordable rates, preventing displacement and enabling low and moderate income families to build long-term stability. This collective ownership model helps to break the cycle of poverty and provides opportunities for wealth building that are otherwise out of reach for many. Worker cooperatives are another example of how the Commons can reduce economic inequality. In a worker cooperative, employees own and manage the business, sharing in the profits and making decisions democratically. This model not only provides fair wages and better working conditions, but also allows workers to build equity and have a stake in the success of the business. By distributing wealth more evenly among workers, cooperatives help to reduce the income inequality that is so prevalent in traditional corporate structures. Social inequality, which includes disparities based on race, gender, ethnicity, and other social identities, is another area where the Commons can have a significant impact. Traditional systems of power and privilege often marginalize certain groups, denying them equal access to resources and opportunities. The Commons, by emphasizing inclusivity and collective governance, provides a platform for addressing these social inequities. One way the Commons reduces social inequality is by ensuring that marginalized groups have a voice in decision-making processes. In many Commons-based initiatives, governance structures are designed to be inclusive, with mechanisms in place to ensure that all community members, including those who are typically excluded, can participate in decisions about resource management. This inclusive approach not only empowers marginalized groups, but also helps to create more equitable outcomes by ensuring that the needs and perspectives of all members are taken into account. In addition to inclusive governance, the Commons can also reduce social inequality by fostering community solidarity and mutual support. By bringing people together to manage shared resources, the commons helps to build stronger social ties and a sense of collective responsibility. This social cohesion is particularly important in marginalized communities, where it can provide a buffer against the effects of social and economic exclusion. Political inequality, which refers to disparities in political power and influence, is another significant challenge that the commons seeks to address. In many societies, political power is concentrated in the hands of a few, often leading to policies and decisions that benefit the wealthy and powerful at the expense of the broader population. The Commons offers an alternative model of governance that is based on democratic participation and shared decision-making, helping to reduce political inequality by giving all community members a voice in the management of resources. In a commons-based system, decisions about resource use and management are typically made through participatory processes that involve all stakeholders. This democratic approach ensures that the interests of all community members are represented, rather than being dominated by a powerful elite. By democratizing decision-making and empowering local communities, the commons helps to create a more equitable distribution of political power. Moreover, the commons can serve as a platform for grassroots political activism, enabling communities to organize and advocate for their rights. This is particularly important in contexts where marginalized groups are often excluded from formal political processes. By providing a space for collective action, the commons empowers these groups to challenge the existing power structures and push for policies that promote greater equity and justice. Commons-based initiatives play a crucial role in reducing inequality by creating systems that are more inclusive, equitable, and just. These initiatives operate in various sectors, including housing, food, education, healthcare, and the environment, providing alternative models of resource management that prioritize collective well-being over individual profit. For example, food cooperatives and community-supported agriculture programs reduce inequality by providing access to healthy, affordable food to all members of the community, regardless of their income level. These initiatives often operate on a sliding scale payment system, allowing those who can afford to pay more to subsidize the cost of food for those who cannot. This not only ensures that everyone has access to nutritious food, but also fosters a sense of community solidarity and mutual support. In the realm of education, digital commons such as open educational resources and online learning platforms democratize access to knowledge, providing free or low-cost educational materials to people around the world. This helps to reduce educational inequality by making high-quality resources available to those who might otherwise be unable to afford them. By breaking down the barriers to education, digital commons empower individuals to improve their skills and knowledge, contributing to greater social mobility and economic opportunities. I'm taking courses on Python and mechanical drawing right now. Not right now, but, right now. Not right now. The healthcare initiatives that operate as commons also play a critical role in reducing inequality by ensuring that healthcare is accessible to all, regardless of income or social status. By treating healthcare as a public good rather than a commodity, these initiatives help to reduce disparities in health outcomes and provide a safety net for the most vulnerable members of society. While the commons has significant potential to reduce inequality, it's not without challenges. One of the key challenges is ensuring that commons-based initiatives are truly inclusive and representative of all community members. In some cases, the governance structures of commons can be dominated by certain groups, leading to the exclusion of others. It's essential to continually assess and adapt these structures to ensure that they promote equity and inclusion. Another challenge is the external pressures that can undermine the commons, such as privatization efforts, market forces, and governmental policies that favor individual ownership and profit maximization. These pressures can threaten the sustainability of commons-based initiatives and make it difficult for communities to maintain control over their resources. Advocating for legal protections and supportive policies is crucial for ensuring the long-term viability of the commons as a tool for reducing inequality. Furthermore, reducing inequality through the commons requires a cultural shift away from individualism toward collective responsibility and cooperation. This can be a difficult transition, particularly in societies that are deeply entrenched in capitalist values. Education and awareness raising are important components of this cultural shift, helping people to understand the benefits of the commons and encouraging them to participate in collective resource management. The Commons offers a powerful framework for reducing inequality by promoting more equitable systems of resource distribution and governance. By emphasizing collective ownership, inclusive decision-making, and access to essential resources, the Commons helps to address the root causes of inequality and to create more just and inclusive societies. While there are challenges to implementing commons-based initiatives, the potential benefits are significant. By empowering communities to take control of their resources and their futures, the Commons provides a pathway towards greater equity and social justice. As more communities embrace the Commons model, the potential for reducing inequality on a broad scale continues to grow. The examples of success in the commons-based initiatives demonstrate that it's possible to create systems that prioritize collective well-being over individual profit, and that doing so can lead to more equitable and sustainable outcomes. The Commons thus represents not just an alternative model of resource management, but also a vision for a more just and equitable world. Community land trusts are a prime example of how commons-based initiatives can address issues of housing affordability and community stability. A CLT is a nonprofit organization that owns land and leases it to individuals or families for the purpose of building or maintaining affordable housing. By keeping the land in community ownership, CLTs remove it from the speculative real estate market, ensuring that housing remains affordable for future generations. CLTs play a critical role in promoting social justice by providing long-term housing security for low and moderate income families. This model allows communities to maintain control over local development and prevent displacement due to gentrification. Additionally, CLTs often involve residents in decision-making processes, empowering them to shape the future of their neighborhoods. By addressing both economic and social needs, CLTs contribute to more equitable and sustainable communities. Community land trusts represent a powerful example of how the Commons framework can be applied to address critical social and economic issues, particularly in the realm of housing and land use. CLTs are nonprofit organizations that acquire land and hold it on behalf of a community, ensuring that it remains affordable and accessible to current and future generations. By taking land out of the speculative market and managing it as a common resource, CLTs provide a sustainable solution to the challenges of housing affordability, displacement, and gentrification. At their core, community land trusts operate by separating the ownership of land from the ownership of the buildings and other improvements on the land. The CLT owns the land, while individuals or families own or lease the homes or businesses that are on the land. This model allows the CLT to retain control over the land and ensure that it is used in ways that benefit the community. Typically, CLTs are governed by a board of directors composed of community members, residents of CLT properties, and representatives of the broader public. This governance structure ensures that the CLT is responsive to the needs and interests of the community rather than driven by profit motives. Decisions about land use, development, and management are made collectively, with input from all stakeholders, which aligns with the Commons principle of inclusive governance. One of the key features of CLTs is their commitment to maintaining long-term affordability. When a property within a CLT is sold, the resale price is limited by a formula set by the CLT. This ensures that the property remains affordable for future buyers, preventing the rapid price escalation that often occurs in the open market. By keeping housing affordable, CLTs help to stabilize communities, prevent displacement, and ensure that low and moderate income families have access to secure housing. Housing inequality is a pervasive issue in many parts of the world, driven by factors such as rising property prices, gentrification, and the commodification of housing. CLTs offer a viable solution to these challenges by providing a model of housing that is rooted in community control and collective stewardship. By removing land from the speculative market, CLTs protect it from the forces of gentrification and speculation that often lead to displacement and housing insecurity. In many urban areas, rising property values have resulted in long-time residents being priced out of their neighborhoods, leading to the fragmentation of communities and the loss of social ties. CLTs counteract these trends by ensuring that housing remains affordable and accessible, allowing residents to stay in their communities and maintain their connections. In addition to providing affordable housing, CLTs also contribute to reducing housing inequality by offering opportunities for wealth building among low and moderate income families. While the resale price of CLT properties is restricted to maintain affordability, homeowners can still build equity over time, providing them with a financial asset that can contribute to their long-term economic stability. This aspect of the CLT model helps to narrow the wealth gap and provide a pathway to economic mobility for those who might otherwise be excluded from home ownership. Empowerment is a central theme in the CLT model, which emphasizes collective decision-making and community control over land use. By involving residents and community members in the governance of the trust, CLTs empower people to take an active role in shaping the future of their neighborhoods. This participatory approach not only strengthens community bonds, but also builds the capacity of individuals to engage in civic life and advocate for their rights. The process of forming and operating a CLT can also serve as a catalyst for broader community organizing and activism. As residents come together to establish a CLT, they often build networks of mutual support and solidarity that extend beyond the specific issue of housing. These networks can be mobilized to address other community concerns, such as environmental justice, economic development, or public safety, further enhancing the community's resilience and capacity for self-determination. Moreover, the governance structure of CLTs typically includes mechanisms to ensure that the voices of marginalized groups are heard and represented. For example, many CLTs reserve seats on their board for residents of CLT properties or members of low-income communities. This ensures that the people most affected by housing inequality and displacement have a say in how land and resources are managed, contributing to a more equitable and inclusive decision-making process. CLTs are not only a tool for addressing housing inequality, but also a model for sustainable development. By focusing on long-term affordability and community stewardship, CLTs promote land use practices that are ecologically and socially sustainable. This includes prioritizing affordable housing, green spaces, community gardens, and other amenities that enhance the quality of life for residents. Many CLTs incorporate environmental sustainability into their mission by adopting green building practices, supporting local food systems, and preserving open spaces. For example, some CLTs develop energy-efficient housing that reduces residents' utility costs and environmental footprint. Others may protect community gardens or urban farms that provide fresh, local food and contribute to food security. By integrating these sustainable practices, CLTs help to create resilient communities that can withstand economic and environmental challenges. Furthermore, the long-term stewardship model of CLTs ensures that development decisions are made with the well-being of future generations in mind. Unlike speculative developers who may prioritize short-term profits, CLTs are committed to maintaining the long-term viability and sustainability of their projects. This focus on stewardship and sustainability aligns with the broader goals of the Commons, which seek to manage resources in ways that benefit both current and future community members. While CLTs offer a promising model for reducing housing inequality and promoting sustainable development, they also face several challenges. One of the primary challenges is securing the initial funding needed to acquire land and develop housing. Because CLTs operate outside the speculative market, they often rely on public funding, grants, and donations to finance their projects. In some cases, this can limit the scale of CLT initiatives and make it difficult for them to expand into high-cost areas. Another challenge is navigating the legal and regulatory environment, which can vary widely depending on the location of the CLT. In some regions, zoning laws, property tax policies, and other regulations may not be conducive to the CLT model, creating barriers to their establishment and operation. Advocating for supportive policies and legal frameworks is essential for enabling the growth and sustainability of CLTs. Additionally, maintaining long-term affordability and community control can be challenging, particularly as market pressures and gentrification increase. CLTs must continuously work to balance the need of current residents with the goal of preserving affordability for future generations. This requires strong governance, ongoing community engagement, and the ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Despite these challenges, there are numerous examples of successful CLTs around the world that have made significant impacts on their communities. Dudley Street Neighborhood Initiative in Boston, one of the most well-known CLTs, was established to revitalize an historically divested neighborhood. By acquiring and developing land through the CLT, DSNI has been able to create affordable housing, green spaces, and community facilities while preventing displacement and gentrification. Champlain Housing Trust in Burlington, Vermont, the largest CLT in the United States, has provided thousands of affordable homes to residents in the Burlington area. This trust has been instrumental in maintaining housing affordability in a region with rising property values, demonstrating the scalability of the CLT model. Brixton Green in London is a CLT that emerged in response to the gentrification of the Brixton neighborhood. The trust aims to create affordable housing and community spaces that reflect the needs and aspirations of local residents, ensuring that the benefits of development are shared equitably. Sawmill Community Land Trust in Albuquerque, New Mexico, was established to prevent the displacement of low-income residents in the Sawmill neighborhood. The trust has developed affordable housing, parks, and community spaces while preserving the cultural heritage of the area. Andel Stiftelser in Denmark, while not called a CLT, operates on a similar principle, providing long-term affordable housing through collective ownership. These cooperatives have been successful in creating stable, affordable housing communities across Denmark, illustrating the adaptability of the CLT model to different cultural and legal contexts. As housing affordability continues to be a pressing issue in many parts of the world, the CLT model is gaining traction as a viable solution. The flexibility of the CLT model allows it to be adapted to different contexts, from urban neighborhoods facing gentrification to rural areas in need of affordable housing. Moreover, the principles of community control, long-term stewardship, and sustainability that underpin CLTs are increasingly recognized as essential components of equitable and resilient development. The future of CLTs will likely involve greater collaboration with local governments, nonprofit organizations, and other community groups to expand the reach and impact of the model. By forming partnerships and leveraging diverse funding sources, CLTs can overcome some of the challenges they face and continue to provide affordable housing and community resources on a larger scale. In addition, as the global movement for housing justice grows, CLTs are poised to play a central role in advocating for policies that support community land ownership and affordable housing. This includes pushing for land use policies that prioritize public and community ownership, as well as financial mechanisms that make it easier for CLTs to acquire and develop land. Ultimately, the success of CLTs depends on the continued engagement and support of the communities they serve. By empowering residents to take control of their housing and land, CLTs not only address the immediate issue of affordability, but also contribute to the broader goals of reducing inequality and promoting sustainability and building resilient communities. The rise of the Internet and digital technologies has given birth to the concept of the digital commons, where knowledge, software, and cultural resources are shared and managed collectively. Digital commons initiatives include open source software, online educational resources, and collaborative platforms like Wikipedia. These initiatives democratize access to information and tools, allowing people from all backgrounds to participate in the creation and dissemination of knowledge. Digital Commons plays a significant role in promoting social justice by breaking down barriers to information and technology. In a world where access to digital resources is often determined by wealth and location, digital commons provide an alternative model that is open and inclusive. By ensuring that digital tools and knowledge are freely available, these initiatives empower individuals and communities to innovate, learn, and connect, regardless of their economic situation. The digital commons represents a critical and growing area within the broader commons movement, addressing the need for equitable access to information, knowledge, and digital resources in the age of the Internet. The digital commons encompasses a wide range of resources that are collectively created, maintained, and shared by communities, including open source software, online educational materials, scientific research, digital libraries, and platforms for collaborative creativity. These resources are made freely available to all, allowing for broad participation and innovation while challenging traditional models of intellectual property and privatization. The digital commons is characterized by its non-excludability and non-rivalrous nature, meaning that access to digital resources does not diminish their availability to others, and no one can be easily excluded from using them. This makes digital resources particularly well-suited to the commons-based model, where the focus is on sharing and collaboration rather than individual ownership or profit maximization. In the digital commons, the creation and distribution of resources are typically governed by open and transparent processes, often facilitated by digital technologies that allow for widespread participation. This can include collaborative platforms where users contribute content, open source software projects where developers from around the world work together to create and improve programs, and digital repositories where academic research is made freely available to the public. One of the most prominent examples of the digital commons is the open source software movement, which has revolutionized the way software is developed and shared. In contrast to proprietary software, which is owned and controlled by private companies, open source software is developed collaboratively by a global community of developers who freely share their code and allow others to use, modify, and distribute it. Open source software projects, such as Linux, Mozilla Firefox, and the Apache HTTP server, have demonstrated the power of collective innovation and the benefit of the commons-based approach to technology. These projects have not only produced highly successful and widely used software, but have also fostered a culture of sharing, transparency, and mutual support within the tech community. The open source model has significant implications for reducing inequality in access to technology. By making high-quality software freely available, the open source movement ensures that individuals, organizations, and governments around the world, regardless of their financial resources, can access the tools they need for education, business, and innovation. This democratization of technology helps to bridge the digital divide and empowers communities to develop their technological capacities. Moreover, open source software supports local innovation by allowing users to adapt and customize software to meet their specific needs. This is particularly important in developing countries, where access to technology is often limited by cost and where local solutions are needed to address unique challenges. By providing the foundation for locally driven technological development, the open source movement contributes to greater self-reliance and resilience in communities around the world. Another key aspect to the digital commons is the movement for open access to knowledge and education. This includes initiatives such as open educational resources, massive open online courses, and open access publishing, all of which aim to make knowledge freely available to anyone with an internet connection. Open educational resources, which includes textbooks, lesson plans, and multimedia content, are created and shared under licenses that allow for free use, adaptation, and distribution. These resources are particularly valuable in expanding access to education, especially in underserved communities where educational materials are often scarce or prohibitively expensive. By making high-quality educational resources freely available, the OER movement helps to level the playing field and provide equal opportunities for learning. Massive open online courses, or MOOCs, represent another dimension of the digital commons in education, offering free or low-cost access to courses from universities and institutions around the world. MOOCs have made it possible for millions of people to gain knowledge and skills that were previously inaccessible to them due to geographic or financial barriers. By democratizing education in this way, MOOCs contribute to reducing educational inequality and enabling lifelong learning. Open access publishing is another critical component of the digital commons, particularly in the realm of scientific research. Traditional academic publishing often restricts access to research findings through expensive subscription fees, limiting the dissemination of knowledge to those who can afford it. Open access journals, on the other hand, make research freely available to the public, ensuring that the benefits of scientific discoveries can be shared widely. This open approach to knowledge dissemination accelerates scientific progress and allows researchers, practitioners, and the public to access the information they need to address global challenges. Digital libraries and archives are also essential elements of the digital commons, providing access to vast collections of books, documents, audio, video, and other cultural and historical resources. Projects like Project Gutenberg, the Internet Archive, which we love and support, and Europeana have digitalized millions of works that are freely accessible to anyone with an internet connection. These resources preserve cultural heritage and provide invaluable materials for education, research, and personal enrichment. Digital libraries democratize access to information by making it available to people around the world, regardless of their location or economic status. For example, a student in a remote village with internet access can explore classical literature, study historical documents, or learn about different cultures without needing physical access to a traditional library. This broad accessibility helps to reduce informational inequality and supports a more informed and educated global citizenry. Moreover, digital libraries play a critical role in preserving knowledge and culture for future generations. By digitizing and sharing works that might otherwise be lost or inaccessible, these projects ensure that a diverse array of voices, stories, and ideas are preserved and made available to the public. This preservation is particularly important for marginalized or underrepresented groups whose histories and contributions might otherwise be overlooked or erased in traditional archival practices. The digital commons also includes a wide range of collaborative platforms that enable people to create, share, and remix content, fostering a culture of creativity and innovation. Websites like Wikipedia, Wikimedia Commons, and platforms that use Creative Commons licenses exemplify how digital spaces can be used to facilitate collective knowledge production and creative expression. Wikipedia, as a free and openly editable online encyclopedia, is one of the most well-known examples of a collaborative platform within the digital commons. Written and maintained by volunteers from around the world, Wikipedia exemplifies the principles of openness, transparency, and collective governance that define the commons. By allowing anyone to contribute, edit, and improve articles, Wikipedia harnesses the collective intelligence of its global community to create a comprehensive and ever-evolving repository of knowledge. Creative Commons licenses provide a legal framework that enables creators to share their work with others while retaining some rights. These licenses allow creators to specify how their work can be shared, used, and modified by others, facilitating the free exchange of creative content while respecting the rights of authors. The widespread adoption of CC licenses has contributed to the growth of the digital commons by making it easier for artists, writers, educators, and others to share their work in ways that encourage collaboration and reuse. Collaborative platforms and Creative Commons licenses empower individuals and communities to participate in the creation and sharing of knowledge and culture, breaking down the barriers imposed by traditional copyright laws and proprietary models. This openness fosters innovation and creativity, as people can build on each other's work, adapt it to new contexts, and contribute to the dynamic and diverse cultural landscape. The digital commons has a profound impact on reducing inequality by providing access to resources and opportunities that might otherwise be out of reach for many people. By making software, knowledge, education, and cultural resources freely available, the digital commons helps to bridge the digital divide and ensures that the benefits of the digital age are shared more equitably. For example, access to open educational resources and online learning platforms can significantly improve educational outcomes for students in low-income and remote areas, providing them with the tools they need to succeed in an increasingly digital world. Similarly, open access to scientific research can empower communities to address local challenges, from public health to environmental sustainability, by giving them access to the latest knowledge and innovations. The digital commons also plays a critical role in promoting social inclusion by providing platforms for marginalized voices and communities to share their stories, knowledge, and creative work. By facilitating participation in the creation and dissemination of digital content, the digital commons helps to amplify diverse perspectives and challenge dominant narratives, contributing to a more inclusive and equitable digital culture. Furthermore, the collaborative nature of the digital commons fosters a sense of global solidarity and collective responsibility. By participating in open source projects, contributing to Wikipedia, or sharing creative work under a Creative Commons license, individuals and communities can engage in meaningful ways with others around the world, building networks of support and collaboration that transcend geographic and cultural boundaries. While the digital commons offer significant potential for reducing inequality and fostering innovation, It also faces several challenges and threats. One of the primary challenges is the ongoing tension between the principles of the commons and the forces of commercialization and privatization. As digital resources become increasingly valuable, there is a growing push by corporations and governments to enclose the digital commons, turning public goods into private assets. Google. For example, the rise of proprietary software, digital rights management systems, and restrictive copyright laws threaten to limit the access to digital net resources and undermine the principles of openness and sharing that define the digital commons. In some cases, these efforts to enclose the commons can lead to the erosion of digital rights and freedoms, as well as the exclusion of marginalized groups from access to essential resources. Another challenge facing the digital commons is the need for a sustainable funding model. While many digital commons projects rely on volunteer labor and donations, this can make it difficult to maintain and scale these initiatives over the long term. Finding ways to support the sustainability of the digital commons without compromising its principles of openness and accessibility is a critical issue that requires ongoing attention and innovation. Additionally, the digital divide remains a significant barrier to realizing the full potential of the digital commons. While access to the internet and digital technologies has increased globally, there are still significant disparities in access, particularly in low-income and rural areas. Addressing these disparities is essential to ensuring the benefits of the digital commons are shared equitably and that all communities have the opportunity to participate in and contribute to the digital world. The future of the digital commons will depend on the continued commitment of individuals, communities, and organizations to the principles of openness, collaboration, and equity. As the digital landscape evolves, there will be ongoing opportunities to expand and strengthen the digital commons, whether through the development of new open-source technologies, the creation of innovative educational resources, or the preservation of cultural heritage in digital form. One key area of growth for the digital commons is the intersection with other movements of social and environmental justice. For example, digital tools and platforms can be used to support grassroots organizing, amplify the voices of marginalized communities, and facilitate collective action on issues such as climate change, human rights, and economic inequality. By leveraging the power of the digital commons, communities can build more just and sustainable futures, both online and offline. In addition, the growing awareness of the importance of digital rights and the need to protect the digital commons from enclosure and exploitation will likely lead to increased advocacy and activism. Efforts to promote digital literacy, protect online privacy, and defend net neutrality are all part of the broader struggle to ensure that the digital commons remains a space for open, inclusive, and equitable participation. Ultimately, the digital commons represents a vision for a digital world that is driven by the collective good rather than individual profit. By fostering a culture of sharing, collaboration, and mutual support, the digital commons has the potential to transform not only the digital realm, but also the broader society, creating a more just, equitable, and sustainable world for all. Public healthcare initiatives that operate as commons are an essential part of ensuring that all individuals have access to the care they need, regardless of their financial situation. These initiatives treat healthcare as a public good, prioritizing the health and well-being of the community over profit. Public healthcare systems, such as the National Health Service in the United Kingdom and Brazil's Sistema Único de Saúde, provide comprehensive healthcare services to all residents, free at the point of use. These systems play a critical role in addressing health disparities, particularly for marginalized and low-income populations. By providing universal access to care, Public healthcare initiatives help reduce barriers to treatment and improve overall health outcomes. Furthermore, these initiatives often emphasize preventative care and community health, addressing the social determinants of health and promoting long-term well-being. Public health care as a commons is thus a vital component of social justice, ensuring that everyone has the opportunity to lead a healthy life. Public health care initiatives within the framework of the commons are vital to ensuring that health care is accessible, affordable, and equitable for all members of society. By treating health care as a public good and a shared resource rather than a commodity, these initiatives aim to reduce health disparities, promote public well-being, and empower communities to take an active role in managing their health. The idea of healthcare as a commons is rooted in the belief that health is a fundamental human right, and that access to healthcare should not be determined by one's ability to pay, social status, or geographic location. Instead, healthcare should be a shared resource that is available to all, much like clean air, water, and public parks. This perspective challenges the commodification of healthcare services, where profit motives often dictate the availability and quality of care, leading to significant inequalities in health outcomes. In the Commons framework, healthcare systems are designed to be inclusive, participatory, and responsive to the needs of all community members. This approach emphasizes the collective responsibility of society to ensure that everyone has access to the care they need, regardless of their economic circumstances. It also recognizes the importance of community involvement in shaping healthcare policies and practices, ensuring that they are culturally appropriate and aligned with the specific needs of different populations. One of the most tangible examples of public healthcare initiatives within the Commons is the establishment of community health clinics. These clinics, often located in underserved areas, provide essential health services to populations that might otherwise have limited or no access to care. They typically offer a wide range of services, including primary care, dental care, mental health support, and preventative care, at little or no cost to patients. Community health clinics operate on the principle of health care as a public good. They are often funded by a combination of government support, donations, and community fundraising efforts, which allows them to offer services regardless of the patient's ability to pay. By focusing on prevention and early intervention, these clinics help reduce the overall burden of the healthcare system, lowering costs while improving health outcomes for vulnerable populations. In addition to providing direct care, community health clinics often serve as hubs for health education and advocacy. They empower individuals and communities by offering information on healthy living, disease prevention, and how to navigate the broader healthcare system. This educational role is crucial in addressing the social determinants of health, such as education, income, and housing, which significantly impact health outcomes. Universal healthcare systems, which are designed to provide healthcare to all citizens as a basic right, are another key example of public healthcare initiatives aligned with the Commons. Countries that have implemented universal healthcare, such as Canada, the United Kingdom, and Sweden, view healthcare as a collective responsibility and a public resource that should be accessible to everyone. These systems are typically funded through taxation and managed by the government or a combination of public and private entities, ensuring that healthcare is available to all citizens regardless of their economic status. Universal healthcare reduces inequality by providing a safety net that prevents individuals from being excluded from necessary care due to financial barriers. It also promotes social solidarity, as the entire population shares in the costs and benefits of the system. Universal healthcare systems often perform better in terms of health outcomes and cost efficiency compared to private, market-driven healthcare systems. By pooling resources and focusing on population health, These systems can achieve economies of scale, negotiate better prices for medications and services, and prioritize preventative care, all of which contribute to better health outcomes and more equitable access to care. And before you say, oh, the U.S. has the best healthcare system in the world, we actually don't. According to World Population Review, we rank number 16 in the healthcare index. So there's that. And if you don't have money or insurance, you kind of die on the side of the road anyway, right? But we all go to church. Public health campaigns are another important aspect of healthcare as a commons, focusing on preventing disease and promoting health across entire populations. These initiatives often target widespread health challenges such as smoking, obesity, infectious diseases, and mental health issues, with the goal of reducing the incidence of illness and improving overall public health. Public health campaigns are typically government-led and funded, but they also rely on active participation of communities, healthcare providers, and non-governmental organizations. These campaigns can include educational programs, vaccination drives, screening initiatives, and efforts to improve access to healthy food and physical activity. By addressing the root causes of health problems and encouraging healthy behaviors, public health campaigns help to reduce long-term costs of health care and improve quality of life. Preventative care, which is a key focus of public health campaigns, plays a crucial role in the commons-based approach to health care. By emphasizing early detection and intervention, preventative care reduces the need for more costly and complex treatments later on. For example, regular screenings for conditions like hypertension, diabetes, and cancer can catch these diseases in their early stages when they're easy to manage and treat. Vaccination programs prevent the spread of infectious diseases, protecting both individuals and the broader community. Beyond government-led programs, many communities have taken the initiative to develop their own health projects, reflecting the commons principle of local control and collective action. These community-led healthcare initiatives often address specific needs that are not adequately met by formal healthcare systems. Examples include local food cooperatives that improve access to nutritious food, mental health support groups that provide peer-based counseling, and community gardens that encourage physical activity and social interaction. Community-led health initiatives are particularly effective in reaching marginalized populations that might face barriers to accessing traditional healthcare systems, such as language differences, cultural stigmas, and mistrust of the healthcare system. By engaging these communities directly and involving them in the design and implementation of health programs, these initiatives can build trust and ensure that services are culturally relevant and accessible. These initiatives also highlight the importance of social networks and community support in health and well-being. For example, community health workers, who are often members of the communities they serve, play a critical role in bridging the gap between healthcare systems and underserved populations. They provide education, advocacy, and support, helping individuals navigate the healthcare system and access services they need. This person-centered approach is a hallmark of the commons, where the focus is on meeting the needs of individuals and communities rather than maximizing profits. Technology plays an increasingly important role in public healthcare initiatives, particularly in the context of the commons. Digital health tools, such as telemedicine platforms, electronic health records, and mobile health apps, have the potential to expand access to care, improve health outcomes, and reduce costs. These tools are especially valuable in reaching rural and underserved areas, who may have limited access to traditional healthcare services. Telemedicine, for example, allows patients to consult with healthcare providers remotely, eliminating the need for travel and reducing the time and cost associated with accessing care. This is particularly beneficial for individuals in remote areas, those with mobility issues, and those who have difficulty taking time off work for medical appointments. By making healthcare more accessible and convenient, telemedicine contributes to the broader goal of equitable access to care. Electronic health records and health information exchanges also support the commons-based approach to healthcare by facilitating the sharing information among healthcare providers. This improves the continuity of care, as providers have access to the patient's complete medical history, reducing the risk of errors and ensuring that care is coordinated across different services. EHRs also empower patients by giving them access to their health information, enabling them to take a more active role in managing their health. Mobile health apps and other digital tools also play a role in preventative care and health education, providing users with information and resources to manage chronic conditions, track their health metrics, and make healthier lifestyle choices. These tools democratize access to health information, making it easier for individuals to take control of their health and well-being. While public healthcare initiatives within the Commons framework offer significant benefits, they also face challenges. Funding is a major issue, as many community health initiatives and public health campaigns rely on limited government support, grants, or donations. Ensuring sustainable funding for these initiatives is critical to their long-term success. Another challenge is the integration of commons-based healthcare initiatives with existing healthcare systems. In many cases, there is a need for better coordination between community-led initiatives, public health programs, and formal healthcare providers to ensure that services are complementary rather than duplicative or fragmented. Despite these challenges, the potential for public healthcare initiatives to transform health outcomes and reduce health disparities is immense. As healthcare systems around the world grapple with rising costs, aging populations, and increasing demand for services, the principles of the Commons offer a way to build more sustainable, equitable, and resilient healthcare systems. By prioritizing collective well-being over profit, empowering communities, and ensuring that healthcare is accessible to all, these initiatives contribute to a healthier and more just society. Food cooperatives are community-owned and operated organizations that provide affordable, healthy, and sustainably sourced food. Unlike traditional grocery stores, which are driven by profit, food co-ops operate on a democratic model, where members have a say in decision-making and share in the benefits of the cooperative. By prioritizing local sourcing and sustainability, food co-ops support local economies and reduce the environmental impact of food production. Food cooperatives play a crucial role in addressing food insecurity and promoting social justice. By offering affordable prices and accepting food assistance programs, co-ops can make healthy food accessible to low-income individuals and families. Additionally, by supporting local farmers and producers, food co-ops contribute to economic resilience and community empowerment. In this way, food cooperatives help create more equitable and sustainable food systems, providing a model of how communities can take control of their food resources. Food cooperatives, or food co-ops, are community-owned and operated grocery stores or food distribution networks that aim to provide affordable, healthy, and sustainably sourced food to their members and the wider community. Rooted in the principles of the Commons, food cooperatives emphasize collective ownership, democratic decision-making, and a commitment to social and environmental justice. By prioritizing the needs of the community over profit, food co-ops play a crucial role in addressing food insecurity, supporting local agriculture, and fostering community empowerment. Food cooperatives operate on the foundational principles of the cooperative movement, which include voluntary and open membership, democratic member control, member economic participation, autonomy and independence, education, cooperation among cooperatives, and concern for the community. These principles guide the governance and operation of food co-ops, distinguishing them from traditional for-profit grocery stores. In the food cooperative, members typically pay a one-time membership fee or purchase a share in the cooperative, granting them an ownership stake and a voice in the decision-making process. Members have the opportunity to vote on key issues, such as product selection, pricing, and the co-op's social and environmental policies. In some cases, members also contribute labor by volunteering in the store or participating in the cooperative's management. The democratic structure of food cooperatives ensures that the needs and values of the community drive the business rather than the profit motives of external shareholders. This model allows co-ops to prioritize fair pricing, ethical sourcing, and the well-being of their members and the broader community. Food cooperatives are often established in response to food insecurity, particularly in areas known as food deserts, urban or rural regions with limited access to affordable and nutritious foods, the kind of place Dollar General moves into. By providing access to healthy and affordable food options, food co-ops directly address the problem of food insecurity and contribute to the broader goal of food justice. Food justice is the idea that all people, regardless of income, race, or geographical location, should have access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their dietary needs and preferences. Food co-ops contribute to food justice by ensuring that healthy food is available to everyone in the community, not just those who can afford to shop at higher-end grocery stores. Additionally, many food co-ops implement sliding-scale pricing or offer discounts to low-income members, further enhancing access to healthy food. Moreover, food co-ops emphasize the importance of sourcing food locally and sustainably, which not only supports local farmers, but also reduces the environmental impact of food production and distribution. By fostering direct relationships with local producers, co-ops can offer fresh, seasonal produce and other products at fair prices, ensuring that both farmers and consumers benefit from the arrangement. One of the key roles in food cooperatives is their support for local agriculture and sustainable food systems. Unlike conventional grocery stores that often rely on large-scale industrial agriculture and long supply chains, food co-ops prioritize sourcing food from local, small-scale, and sustainable producers. This approach has several benefits for the community and the environment. By purchasing from local farmers and producers, food cooperatives help keep money within the community, supporting local economies and creating jobs. This local focus also reduces the carbon footprint associated with food transportation, as products are sourced from nearby rather than being shipped across long distances. Additionally, by choosing to work with producers who use sustainable farming practices, such as organic farming, agroecology, or permaculture, food cooperatives promote agricultural methods that protect the environment, preserve biodiversity, and enhance soil health. Food cooperatives also play a role in educating the community about the importance of sustainable food systems. Many co-ops offer workshops, classes, and events focused on topics such as organic gardening, cooking with local and seasonal ingredients, and the benefits of supporting local agriculture. This educational component empowers members and the wider community to make informed choices about the food they consume and the impact of those choices on their health, the environment, and the local economy. Food cooperatives are not just businesses. They are community hubs that empower individuals by giving them a stake in the local food system. Through collective ownership, members of the food co-op have a direct say in how the cooperative operates and how it serves the community. This sense of ownership fosters a strong connection between members and the co-op, encouraging active participation and engagement. The collective ownership model also helps build social capital within the community. Members often work together on various aspects of the cooperative, from governance and decision-making to volunteer shifts in the store or participation in community events. This collaboration strengthens social bonds, builds trust, and creates a sense of shared purpose among members. The cooperative becomes a space where people come together not just to shop, but to learn, share ideas, and work collectively towards common goals. Furthermore, food cooperatives often serve as platforms for broader community organizing and advocacy. Because they are deeply embedded in the communities they serve, co-ops are well positioned to advocate for policies that support food justice, sustainable agriculture, and local economic development. By mobilizing their members and leveraging their collective power, food co-ops can influence local food policy and contribute to the broader movements for social and environmental justice. While food cooperatives offer numerous benefits to their members and communities, they also face several challenges. One of the primary challenges is competition with large-scale, for-profit grocery chains that can often offer lower prices due to their economies of scale and extensive supply chains. This can make it difficult for food co-ops to attract and retain customers, especially in areas where price sensitivity is a significant factor. Another challenge is the need for sustainable financial management. Because food co-ops prioritize community benefits over profit, they often operate with lower profit margins than conventional grocery stores. Ensuring long-term financial viability requires careful management of resources, creative fundraising, and sometimes difficult decisions about pricing and product selection. Additionally, food cooperatives must navigate the complexities of democratic governance. While member participation is a strength of the cooperative model, it can also be challenging to achieve consensus and make decisions efficiently. Ensuring that all members have a voice, while also maintaining the cooperative's operational effectiveness, requires strong leadership and clear communication. Despite these challenges, the opportunities for food cooperatives are significant. As consumer awareness of food justice, sustainability, and local economies continues to grow, food co-ops are well positioned to attract new members and expand their impact. The growing interest in organic and locally sourced food, as well as the increasing demand for ethical and transparent business practices, aligns with the core values of the cooperative movement. Furthermore, food cooperatives can leverage technology to enhance their operations and reach a broader audience. Online ordering systems, community-supported agricultural programs, and social media can all help co-ops engage with their members, streamline their operations, and extend their reach beyond their immediate geographic area. The future of food cooperatives lies in their ability to adapt to changing economic and social conditions while staying true to their core principles of collective ownership, democracy, and community empowerment. As food systems continue to evolve, with increasing pressures from climate change, urbanization, and economic inequality, food cooperatives will play a crucial role in creating resilient, just, and sustainable local food systems. To thrive in the future, food cooperatives will need to continue innovating in their business models, exploring new ways to serve their communities, and stay competitive in a rapidly changing market. This might include expanding into new areas such as urban farming, renewable energy, or local food processing, all of which can enhance the cooperative's role in the local economy and further its social and environmental goals. Education and outreach will also be key to the future success of food cooperatives. By continuing to educate their members and the wider public about the importance of sustainable food systems, food justice, and the cooperative model, food co-ops can build a broader base of support and inspire the next generation of cooperative leaders. Food cooperatives represent a powerful model for creating equitable, sustainable, and community-centered food systems. By prioritizing the needs of the community over profit, supporting local agriculture, and empowering individuals through collective ownership, food cooperatives are making significant contributions to the commons and the broader movement for social and environmental justice. As they continue to grow and evolve, food cooperatives will remain vital players in the effort to build a more just and sustainable world. The Commons offers a powerful framework for addressing social justice and promoting equitable access to resources. Whether in the form of community land trusts, digital platforms, public health care, or food cooperatives, commons-based initiatives challenge inequalities inherent in privatized systems and empower communities to take control of their resources. By prioritizing sustainability, inclusivity, and community participation, these initiatives not only reduce disparities, but also foster resilience and empowerment. As society continues to grapple with issues of inequality and resource distribution, the Commons provides a promising path forward for creating more just and equitable communities. The Commons represents a transformative approach to resource management that places collective well-being, equity, and sustainability at the forefront of societal priorities. By challenging the prevailing models of privatization and profit-driven exploitation, the Commons offers a framework for rethinking how we share, manage, and protect the resources essential to our lives. Whether these resources are natural, such as land and water, or social, like knowledge and healthcare, the Commons provides a model where communities are empowered to take collective responsibility for the stewardship and equitable distribution of these vital assets. Throughout this discussion, we've explored how the Commons intersect with key aspects of social justice, demonstrating its potential to address some of the most pressing challenges of our time. Equitable access to resources ensures that all members of society, regardless of their economic status, have the means to meet their basic needs and participate fully in community life. The emphasis on sustainability ensures that these resources are preserved and protected for future generations, fostering a long-term perspective that balances immediate needs with the health of the environment and society. Empowerment is a central theme in the Commons, as it encourages communities to take an active role in the decision-making process, ensuring that the voices of all members are heard and respected. This participatory approach not only strengthens social bonds, but also builds the capacity of communities to manage their resources in ways that reflect their unique needs and values. By reducing inequality, the Commons model directly challenges the concentration of wealth and power, promoting a more just and inclusive society where resources are shared for the benefit of all, rather than just a few. Examples of common land trusts, digital commons, public health care initiatives, and food cooperatives highlight the diverse ways in which these principles of the Commons are being applied in practice. These initiatives demonstrate that the Commons is not just a theoretical concept, but a viable and effective approach to creating more just, sustainable, and resilient communities. They show that when people come together to collectively manage their resources, they can achieve outcomes that are more equitable, sustainable, and empowering than those possible under traditional models of private ownership and market-driven economies. As we look to the future, the Commons offers a hopeful vision for how we might address the interconnected challenges of economic inequality, environmental degradation, and social fragmentation. By enhancing the principles of shared stewardship, democratic participation, and collective well-being, we can build a world where resources are managed not for the profit of a few, but for the prosperity of all. The Commons, in its many forms, provides a roadmap for creating societies that are not only more just and equitable, but also more resilient and sustainable, capable of meeting the needs of both the present and future generations. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you found this video informative and thought-provoking. This is the point where others tell you, if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content just like this. But we know that kind of thing is for losers. Don't be a loser. And as always, I value your input and ideas for future videos in the comments section below. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep embracing your inner nude, dude.